Okay. Hi. My name is Erielle Norris, and this is my digital identity project. Okay, so who am I? Who is Erielle Norris? Well, that's a very hard question to answer because it's a very broad question, really, and it can be answered in ample amount of ways. But I am an older sister and a daughter and a poet and someone who wants to work with children, although she's also pursuing the STEM field. um, I am a Christian, a child of God. I love Jesus. I am also someone who is really fortunate enough to even be in this class right now, being a sophomore in college, right? I am originally from Indianapolis. I was born downtown, well, not downtown, central Indianapolis, lived on the east side, lived on the west side of Indy, and I don't really know much about my family's history or ancestry, but I've heard plenty of stories about my grandparents and my great grandparents living out in the countryside, and my great grandparents living with their parents on the reservation and on the plantation. Um, Unfortunately, I don't really know much else though, but yeah, as a kid, I was really active, always doing sports, always doing volleyball, cheerleading, track, and always in the arts. I really, really, really have always loved the arts. And doing talent shows, doing choirs, doing concerts, poetry readings and competitions, and reading competitions, and just being really active in the classroom. My parents constantly had me in something in school, and I was really advanced for my age, but also being really advanced for my age made it really difficult to navigate socially. People didn't really handle me well, uh, and I didn't really handle that well. Handling people's expectations of me and dealing with kids' insecurities because they weren't doing so well. So bullying became a thing, and it was excruciating for a really long time. Um, but it was also difficult because I was also handling plenty of other losses, losing my younger sister and my younger brother, not always having somewhere to live, and constantly worrying about all these things that my little brain shouldn't have been worrying about. But I didn't really grapple or handle this all too well, and now that I'm much older, finding out having an ADHD diagnosis or ASD diagnosis could have helped me at least understand myself and be more graceful with myself, but didn't really get that. So this suffering continued. It continued so long, and my mental health and my self-esteem really took a plummet. As I got older, the insecurities got deeper, and masking became a constant thing. I'm just constantly giving myself to other people and truly losing myself in the process just to get someone to see me or like me or appreciate me. And it just became really hard and difficult to shine my light in public. Dealing with body dysmorphia and anxiety and depression continued all the way throughout in high school, and just placing my identity in these things that constantly changed wasn't really beneficial for me. And I think I finally dealt with burying all these things in myself and these maladaptive behaviors, trying to deal with this, over sexualizing myself, developing addictions, and all the previous things I talked about up until college is when I really hit rock bottom. Of course, I studied well, academics, but I kind of got lost in the social sauce again, and it plummeted really well. And my regards just for school kind of were lost in the anxiety and depression. I was like, just became really horrible again after dealing with such big changes and homesickness and all these other things. My family got really worried for me, and I ended up going to the counseling center. And at some point, I also just kind of got sick of it and cried out. And I hadn't really gone to church or read my Bible or anything in years, but I just had the urge to do that, read my Bible and pray. And so I did that, all while still going through it. But at some point, it turned from just doing it to genuinely caring about it and finding it was helping me and healing me over time, and knowing that I wasn't doing it alone because Jesus and the Holy Spirit were with me. And there's a lot that happened during those 2 years, but immense growth is truly what took place, and a change of heart, really. Change of heart, just seeking to have the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, kindness, and hope, and to truly just embody the character and the heart of Jesus, which is that a heart of a servant, and something that I think I'm aiming for now. And it also gave me the courage to pursue the RA class and to pursue the position of being an RA. And I've learned so much from Jesus, but I've also learned some really cool things and some really helpful things in this class, like how to be a proper advocate for people, and knowing that takes building relationship and time, actually committing time and energy towards people, and not just doing it just because or just to get it out of the way. No, honestly, being a comfort and sometimes honesty for a person that they need to hear, but truly pushing them towards their own growth and their own change and potential, not doing it for them, right? And taking time to educate myself in matters when it comes to more drastic situations, things that normally deal around social justice and stuff, or anything to do with my personal life, but taking more time to delve deeper into those things. So when I come to these places, I won't just be doing it for superficial reasons or for performative reasons. No, actually becoming invested and putting my own effort and my time into these things, and learning what to do with myself in those places, how to be a tool and how to be an aid to those people rather than I. So learning when to listen, learning when to be quiet, learning when to be vulnerable, learning when to how to navigate those things, really. And also knowing the importance of taking risks. And that comes with anything that seems impossible, that you need the courage for. You have to be willing to take those risks, to stand up for yourself, to advocate for yourself, to advocate for better conditions for yourself and other people as well. And whether that be the cost of being a social pariah, whether that be the cost of being limited from some areas or spaces, either way, the cause has to be worth it. And you have to prove it. Learning that has been really helpful. Really, really helpful in this class. Also learning when I cannot handle things, to hand them to people who can. Give them to people who are capable of handling the situation and can do it well. So much hurt and pain is saved. And I think that will help me so much when I step into this RA position, and also any position that I take in the future. But really just being a person who is not content with being powerless, and recognizing that my individual power is something that could ripple the tides so much. So not deeming myself powerless and deeming myself capable of learning and changing and growing and helping and doing whatever is needed to achieve whatever needs to be achieved, basically. Remembering that how I carry myself, my mind, how I speak to other people, how I interact with other people truly can dictate someone's life. You never know who you're coming with, who you're meeting with. You don't know the mentality they're coming into. You don't know whatever is going on in their life. So truly remembering not to be a menace and a terrorizer to people, and instead to hopefully be kindness to people who may not have gotten it from someone else. I think that is really important to have, to be understanding and empathetic, and to remember that we are all human beings at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what differences it is. Doesn't matter what else is going on. Baseline, we're human beings who each deserve respect and kindness and love. And there are different ways you can give that and show that to people. And that's something that I hope I can do in this position, right? Okay, so my name is Erielle Norris, and this was my digital identity project.